absolutely exquisite.
That is what you sound like.
Welcome, ladies and gents. It's about to start here between Liquid and Mudgolems. I'm OD.Pixel, of course, joined by Fog, ready for this one. Fog, well, we've had the lineups coming in. We're getting some fun heroes for sure. You know, this final pick from Mudgolems coming in with the Boronier Invoker, always a treat to watch. And then over on the side, Liquid, it's a lot of signature heroes. I'm seeing a Quake for Storm. I'm seeing an Insania Rubik.
Yeah, a lot of signature heroes, very comfortable kind of stuff coming out from them. Yeah, this should be pretty interesting. I haven't gotten to see too much of Mudgolems. I know they have like, what, 33 games or something played under their belt, but I haven't gotten to actually watch the games. I think I only watched the one where they were having a lot of trouble versus Viking, I believe it was, when they got 3-0'd. But besides that, I haven't seen too much of this team, so I'm definitely looking forward to see what they're able to do at this draft. As it's, you know, they're playing, they early drafted the Visage for 33.
I did, second pick.
Yeah, so I want to see how what their idea with it is. If they're going to do some type of like tri-lane here at the start and then swap stuff up, or what the whole concept is. Because I think the only times I've seen Visage lately, except for like pubs, you know, I've seen it in off lane, but in officials, I think I've only seen it mid.
Yeah, we'll see what 33 does with it. I mean, definitely, for as far as I can remember, you know, this is a hero that 33, he's looked to pull this out all over the, you know, the different teams that he's been on, different positions. This is a very 33 hero, not just only in the pro games, but in his pubs as well. There's been patches where you'll find him playing this hero. So if anyone's going to know how to play it in this day and age, 33 is definitely going to be one of the men to look towards.
Yeah, he's the micro guy.
He's able to pull out.
He likes playing those heroes.
And then, I mean, looking at some of these other matchups, I mean, we've sort of heard the panel discuss it, talking about how things are going to play out with the Bristle and the Sven. I mean, do you sort of look at this Bristle and say that this game is boxy, is going to become unkillable, or do you consider some of the heroes of Mudgolem to be pretty good at dealing with the Bristle?
I think the Sven can get to a point, but I think that what Liquid wants to do is try to apply the pressure. I think that they want to play pretty aggro, and the way that I've seen them play with the Bristleback is exactly that. Like, they always go for the Goo very early, they go for the Quill, and they just try to get these kills stop here. And yeah, I think they're actually going to get fought here.
They just should have this here. And one more stun will hold him back. Oh, those Goo stacks and having the point in the telekinesis to secure the first blood. They'll do exactly that. Tiger's going to be the one to get the last hit. Playing first blood. Will be that little bit of a sigh of relief maybe from Skeeter there, as he does know that there's not going to be any Fate Bolt at level 1 against him for the first few waves.
Yeah, they still have a very strong lane with the Enchantress down there. You see the idea that Liquid wanted to have. This is what they wanted. They wanted to have like some kill, some like just messing up the lanes and just getting the read first, so that they can block the camp and just make sure that this Enchantress doesn't get creeps. They get up Foxy to set up to a very nicely set up start here.
Looking at the mid lane matchup, what would you sort of expect between this Invoker and the Storm? I mean, I feel like the Storm's just going to get a little bit more out of the laning stage, right? Pushing it in, utilising the camps. I mean, Boronier, what sort of game is he looking to play as the Invoker this time? Is he going to be moving around the map, getting like the Urn, the Vessel? Like, what's his job this game?
Yeah, it looks really nice. I don't know if you commit ever for the full Vessel anymore. I think the Urn still always has its merits, but you're playing versus CK and Bristleback. Crosswise has so much value here. These heroes they struggle. They do struggle with mana at times. Bristleback usually can end up finding things to work with it, but CK is a hero that always is going to struggle with mana.
We'll see what sort of plays Boronier is going to be able to find, and of course down the line as well, just having the buff up for the Sven. Yeah. Alacrity is going to do some great job.
I do want to see him
sort of the later parts.
I do want to see him get active though, like you were saying, pretty early, because I like what QO was pointing out on the panel. It does feel like Liquid is a bit greedy with this one here. It does feel like, you know, CK, Storm, these heroes, you know, they do need a little bit of items to be able to make those same type of rotations. I do think that the Invoker can really set up the lanes for success. Great setup for the lean on the Visage top. So
D9.
Trying to do their best here at the moment. Milan and 33 to keep Miko pushed away. Of course, we'll have that Chaos Strike to rely on a little bit. Not what once was with the guaranteed procs. Top again. Milan and Tiger keeping one another away from the wave. And as 33 is going to have it coming into a good position close towards his tower. Managed to make the small Tiger, so wave actually almost be taken away from him. So then, it's going to be able to find the courier. And doesn't go for it. He's actually just going to try for the kill. Tiger's getting very, very low here. A couple of hits away, but he's fine. Steps back, has the salve. He's good to go.
So hard to trade versus Alina. You know, Phoenix not the best trader in general. Sure, with your fire spirits it's decent, but Lena's literally the counter to you with that fiery soul. As you see, he skills it even at level 2. Or Ninghe does connect with that EMP on quick, but mid.
Down bottom. How's the pressure looking on Skeeter early on? Well, yeah, not really there. As you said, the Enchantress just able to offer enough for Skeeter in the lanes, having the
Radiant
extra help
structures are fortified.
and the aggressive potential to really punch back at Boxy.
Yeah.
Boxy again. Anytime he steps forward, a hefty bit of damage thrown out between the two of them. Try and finish himself as well, chasing Boxy down.
They got him.
They'll do it. That is the power. Fada definitely showing us how strong the Ench can be in the lane against the Bristle on the early levels. So
Yeah.
great amount of damage around from that impetus.
Even when you don't have a side pole or anything like that, no creep. Insania's been body blocking it every single time. They just hit him a bunch. You know, that's Enchantress just does a lot of damage, and that's something you can never write off. Ruins checked. See Milan goes top. Make sure that Koikfa doesn't get that one as the Invoker checks bottom. Nicely set up there from Mudgolems, as I'm gonna say the wrong name of this team so many times.
Wait, what do you mean the wrong name? How? It's literally a mud golem. What do you mean?
I know it's a mud, but like it's always when they don't have anything in front of their names. I have A mode, Boraningte, and then I have AAA, Fada, and Crazy Skitter. You know.
And that is true. They've got a few different tags on them. Down pop. Foxy. And this time Insania is going to stick a little closer to him, make sure that Boxy doesn't go down yet again in this lane. Of course, once the levels do start to come in, it's going to be a lot harder for him to deal with the Bristle as such. Top lane.
Oh, look at this early rotation.
The chase here with that light strike and now the follow-up. They might even be able to get the two of them. They do. Soul Assumption's there for 33. Very nice moves. I mean, again, just the setup from the light strike, Milan, having that reach with the stun. And as you say, just a move that it didn't seem like Liquid were prepared for at all. They weren't ready for that on the top lane.
No, it seemed like they were almost going to get the kills even without the Boraningte rotation. He just was like,
just turned up and was like, all right, I'm helping. Very nicely done there. As already early days, 5 minutes in, but it's a 1k lead and 3-1 here from Mudgolems. Very solid start against Liquid.
Yeah, I think whenever you can have a hero like a Visage Lina lane work like this up top, it's very damn good. Sure, versus not the strongest lane, you know, it is a Phoenix CK, so it's kind of weak in some ways. You know, Phoenix can't really provide that type of real 5 position support there for a CK, but they're doing pretty good.
I mean, Boxy, he might just die if Fada. Impetus, oh, it's close. Not quite enough though. But again, Fada's just doing so much again, taking that harpy, using the harass for the lightning. I mean, Boxy's just taking so much damage, and he's now sitting in this lane without any regen, so he has to be careful. He's got the bottle coming out in the courier, so he has managed to farm that up, so the bottle will be there for him. Allowing that extra bit of heal and sustain to stay in this lane. But still, yeah, definitely not an easy time for him. He's still getting the farm. You know, Boxy's CS still great down here, but definitely no slowdown on the farming of this Sven. He just had a pretty open start down.
Yeah, and I mean, Boxy, he still has to be very careful of just dying over and over again every time he steps up. Insania is in the area this time. But yeah, now that Fada is able to access those creeps, every single time he's just able to push them away and just get that Sven, that farm. Even gets a nice little D ward. We did see Koikfa, he was able to find himself a regen room, so this could be the big thing that he's able to make work if he wants to help out his side lanes at all. He can farm with this one and then, of course, regen and TP to the side.
This time round, Liquid will be the ones to win the trade, and Boxy getting incredibly low.
So close.
Won't quite fall this time. Does still have to make the walk back to base though, so sure you get the kill on the Enchantress, but it's still a lot of time where Boxy's going to miss out a wave or so.
Yeah, Skitter's still very happy. Even when the Enchantress has died, now he's getting solo XP, he's already up to 6, so all's good in Sven world right now. Except that I don't think that he has any stacks. Yep, like 1 or 2 actually. They do have a hard camp stack up on that left side for him later on.
Yeah, nice little triple stack at least there. Going for him mid lane. Trying to set up on the Quaper with the cold snap, but not enough lockdown to keep him held in place. Also a bit of EB over from Tiger in case Fada and Morinio try to push any further than back. Quaper, he's going to look for the opportunity to turn, zip straight in onto Fada, and will be able to blow up the Enchantress. The raindrop not enough to save Fada in that situation. It's 33. They can maybe go for Tiger, but the dive's available. Tiger's up to the high ground and he's away.
They really want to go for this tower here. They're just bringing these 3 heroes, just showing their faces.
I'm waiting for the 8-minute rune as well, making sure that Quaker doesn't get his hands on it, and they'll be able to do so again. So for a second time, Quaker just not able to find that bottle refill with the control that Mudgolem have maintained around the river. The city is going to be hit as well for the preparation for this push, but as it is, you know, Mudgolem, they've started to split back up,
Yeah.
and they're focusing elsewhere once again.
I was going to say, I don't think they can push the issue so much to try to go for this mid tower. You don't want to give Mickey a free farm, and you want to get level 6. Like Visage, you become a completely different hero when you get that level 6. So, yeah, 33 needs to move back up toward top. Get that finished up so they can continue applying pressure. Because Liquid, you know, they're fine with this. They're just sitting back and farming. Koikfa, he's a Storm Spirit. This is the best kind of the game for him right now, is where it's just slow, no pressure being applied. He's able to just jungle with his whole mana pool.
Yeah, well, when you sort of look at the cores from both teams, would you just sort of consider this a game where if it does fall back to AFK farming, Liquid's lineup's going to fare better as the game goes on?
You know, yeah, I would say that, yeah. Just because like the Phoenix applies and gives so much extra team fight, they just have all these little extra elements that really does bring it all together. Mudgolem still does have strong, you know, with the Sven and the Invoker and all that, but it's just a little bit more difficult to land those.
And he's going to head over and clean up these stacks. I'm just going to put him pretty close then to having the Midas done.
Yeah.
So on track to get a very good timing. Nice alignment to be found there as well. Broom handle for the Sven.
Got a double stack too. 33 taps the experience, so now he's 6. He was a little scared of going top when Storm is off the map. This is the other thing that happens too. It's like Koikfa, he's jungling this whole time, but it's actually like this pressure that he applies because he's just not showing himself. You know he's jungling, but you don't know what his mana pool is. You don't know anything.
He's at bottom. Try and come into the lane for a bit of XP, but of course still at the level he is. Not much is all he can do to help himself against these two running him down. Yep.
We see Tiger is trying to set up some stacks there for the Bristle. It is blocked already, though, by Mudgolems. Both sides are taking their boxes.
Top lane. 33 in Milan. That looks like they're going to get away with this tier 1 tower. I mean, no indication of Liquid to try and bring in any sort of defense. It's the same as we said down bottom boxy, getting the space as well to put that pressure on. Still, Liquid just keeping Tiger sat behind Quakefer, making sure that he's going to be okay if he does get jumped on. It's still relatively hard for Mudgolem's lineup to ever jump the Storm. In terms of the lockdown, it's going to be a light strike array coming out, you know, from out of vision. But other than that, Quakefer, it is a pretty good Storm game, right?
Yeah, he just has to watch himself for like the little cold snap because it's instant. That little instant stun can always mess you up in some ways, but as long as he avoids those, he should have some clear gaming. And he's, like we said, he's just able to free farm. He's gonna have Orchid at a very good timing, so he's gonna be able to play around and maybe just kill the Invoker before he gets anything off in a lot of situations because of this farm. So I do feel like Liquid is very happy with this slowdown here, with just the slow game, because Mick is also going for the Midas. They're reading the game.
Yeah, and at this rate, Quakefer's going to have this window where his Orchid is going to be complete, but of course, Borony Azure Scepter is still going to be a 1,000 or so gold away. So definitely expect to see Quakefer try and get active immediately on completion of that Orchid purchase.
Yeah, you know, something we talked about a little bit earlier was like how the Liquid side is a bit greedy, so whenever this kind of happens, like, they're fine. Everyone just sits back, farms. You're playing versus the Sven, who you know is going to have to farm also. Invoker, he went past Wex, so it's just a bit of a difference. Like, you're dealing with this like crazy cataclysm that's going to come. He's 0-0-1. He's now looking to try to get a bit more involved, but has to cancel his TP anyway, because they weren't going to get that kill. And there's the Orchid. 11 minutes, 55 seconds.
All right, so as I say, well, when you're going this sort of build up Storm, this is where you immediately look to start to put it into action, right? You don't stick to the jungle. Quakefer is now, he's checking for any available opportunity to get in there.
100%. Go smoke with your 2 supports. I think your cores are not the safest. Our box is a bit low, so yeah, just go smoke with them. Yeah. And bottom is not a safe place to smoke because there's nothing to get down there. There's no one with them. They have a ward, but they want to smoke to one of their heroes, so they're going to smoke top to make a maybe secure this area.
And who would you say sort of the dream catchers? You know, which of these cores could you hurt the most by catching at this stage of the game?
Dream would be Skitter, but he shouldn't be in a position to get caught. He's going to be in the triangle. They know that. They're just going to try to catch whatever they catch. But yep, Milan, Invis, able to break that smoke.
Yeah, very nice positioning there from Milan. Total stop put to that play. As now Kuiper has to clear the wave. They'll know that orc is down Storm. I mean, already they seem very prepared for those sort of movements from Liquid. You can now imagine that Mudgolem's going to be very careful and very prepared for Liquid trying to make these sort of plays this early.
Yeah. We see Fada goes on he used the smoke, not to fight, not to anything like that. He just smokes to ward. So it blocks the Ancient and puts down a vision ward. So we can see, and I think everybody, all the people this one's going to be a little bit of a slow one, but I think it's going to pick up pretty big around that 20-minute mark, Once they get that one item after the Midas on the 2 cores, I think they're going to start actually running at each other, I hope.
Yeah, and when 33 has his first one done, I mean, he's stockpiling gold right now, 2,500 gold on the Visage.
Yeah, I mean, he had the Veil, but
Orchid.
He switched because I think he just realized, he's like, okay, I can go for an item that actually influences the game more. Orchid versus that Storm, no way to remove it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's got to be the big thing, right? When you do see that the Storm has rushed the complete Orchid, you know that he is going to have that vulnerability, nothing to protect himself, and no teammates to do so as well. No real saves on Liquid's lineup. So Kuiper, as you said, if he does get caught out by Cold Snap into a silence, he's probably going to die in these fights. Just find a pick up, starts things with a quick sip over towards Milan. Milan actually took it quite poorly. He's got enough HP to live through it all, and it's actually Liquid that they have to start backing away. They are just unable to burst through the Lina.
The squishy Lina, they couldn't even bring her down because they're just afraid. It's that area, they're very, very reluctant to actually full commit there. Those are like half committals because they don't know, they just might pop out from the high ground. Foxy continuing to pressure bottom. But yeah, very far.
It's got to be a little bit frustrating for Kuiper, right? You get this good Orchid timing, you're looking, you're trying to find something, but you just can't quite find it quite yet. As Mudgolems, it just seems to be very prepared for it. They've come out with the smoke themselves, Mudgolems, as they move over. Can find Kuiper and Boxy inside Mudgolem's jungle right now.
Going to
go for deep sweep.
They got the bounties. They're going to get at least 3 of them here, it looks like. Might even be able to catch someone off guard here. Boxy.
They're going to get 4 bounties.
They're actually going to afford.
They're going to get all 4 bounties. Liquid they weren't looking at the timer. They didn't check the time.
Kuiper.
I'm over here.
Cold Snap. He's able to get the first sip off the side, and that'll be enough to make the way.
Here I am.
Quite get the hit in after the Cold Snap in time, so Kuiper's free to escape. See up top. This one's Tiger. They do manage to burst out Fata. 33 won't quite get Tiger, but Fata, being where he was a little deep in enemy territory, he almost knew that his death was imminent.
He's just warding. That's literally all that's happened this game. Like, Fata's just smoking to go put some wards down. He got another good vision ward down. They do have the sentry in range of it if they are aware that it's on the high ground there, but it doesn't seem like they are. So he's just giving them information. He's just messing with the triangle. Like, he keeps blocking the Ancients, so they're actually denying a lot of farm from Team Liquid because of that. Even though it's an Enchantress, it's a 5-position Enchantress. It doesn't
oh yeah, you're totally fine with that.
Radiant structures are
See Liquid getting a bit more active now as they do start to show their head in the middle.
They've acquired some items. Foxy, Vanguard, and a plate mail. He's feeling pretty strong now to front line.
Let's see what Mudgolems can do to push them off this tower as they do turn up themselves with the full 5-man response. The side. Trying to start things. EMP down to zone them out.
He whips it though.
But a step to the side. Boxy now trying to move straight back in. Tiger's going to go in for the dive. Follows it up with the egg. They're starting to back away from it. Potter will be grabbed and pulled back in range of the Supernova. So Potter goes down. The rest of them able to still keep themselves safe to the side. Keep throwing in the stuns. Doesn't want to commit to the Ultra. As Liquid will get the space to take down the tier 1 tower. Just at the moment, it seems, is with the full lineup, Liquid able to get away with just brute forcing these objectives, and Mudgolems not quite having the team fight ready to go to tackle them head on.
Radiant are scanning.
That egg is always going to be a big issue in this game, I feel. They have the tools to kill it, with that Lina, with that Breach and everything, that people who can actually focus fire it, but I really do feel it's going to cause so many problems because they don't have that big team fight to kind of match it at all on their team. they have to have. I mean, Barney just can't whip his spells is one of the big things there too. He missed both the tornado and the EMP there, so. And we're seeing Doxy is a true frontliner, and he's going to be getting that big item that counters the Sven, that agony that he's kind of expecting that'll eventually happen. He's going to strip a Lotus Orb, so it's always going to be good versus Skitter. He's going to neglect to go for the Aghanims first, though. He's just going to go BKB.
Yeah, I mean, it's a necessity, and as you say, he's exactly at that point, right?
Yeah.
He does go the Ag, and suddenly he's got to be very careful about how he's charging around the team fight.
Radiant's
So,
bottom tower
how's
is
he
under
going to
attack.
with his item build?
Yeah, doesn't want to get kited too much either. There's a lot he has to deal with still. There's lots of magic damage and control coming from that Team Liquid side. Going for farming aggressively here. They spot him, but
It's just a hard
can't
catch.
get control. 33 is charging with his Orchid. He has a haste.
Oh, if they can get the cold snap set, maybe they can do it. It's
Might
going
be
to buy
able to.
time with the ult to get 33 in position. Silence is there to follow it up. They're healing him up with the Sunray, but not enough to outdo the damage coming out for the three members of Mudgolems. They finally are able to kill Quake for him the first time this game.
I can't believe he stayed and went to go hit that camp. He has a ward. He saw the Visage literally just beeline through
Wait, they
the
have a
creep
ward?
wave,
Yeah, but...
through everything with the haste, and
Yeah,
then he
you're
goes
right,
to hit
they
the
got a
camp. That
ward
was
there.
so greedy. I was so greedy.
Oh,
But
Quake, what's he doing? He's not looking at the map.
maybe he didn't see that he had an Orchid. Maybe he expected a different type of item. So he's like, oh, whatever.
He's had that, well,
had
he
it, yeah.
did say fully up for it though, so I'm not too sure
Yeah.
how long this maybe he had a purchase, but you're
But
right.
he did have a
they-
ward, so he could have clicked. So, got caught being greedy.
Fada with the one left behind here as Mudgolems do start to retreat from Liquid's triangle. And retreat they will. They get everyone else out of there. Again, another scenario where Fada is the one. In fact, worth pointing out, of course, one of those beautiful games where Fada is literally.
He's all the deaths.
He's literally the only one that's died on Mudgolems. 7 deaths on Fada. I mean, this is he couldn't be playing it more perfect, right? This is what you do as position 5. You die for your team.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know. Like, he's not giving up a lot. It's like 200
He's
gold
not giving
here,
up a lot, you know.
150 gold
Yeah.
here. Blocks 3 ancient camps because he gives up 150 gold.
Yeah.
You know, like very close game though. Very quiet, very like slow too. I mean, I feel like a lot of the
I
games.
mean, who is going to be feeling more comfortable with the peacefulness? Well, which of these teams is more like,
think
this is great.
I feel like for Liquid.
See the bounty raiders this time around. Liquid will get themselves involved, get a couple. He's actually going to pop the God Strength, but now out of mana, so very hard for him to fight with this. Both his Midas and BKB ready to go. Does turn around and indeed make sure that he does use the Midas. God Strength to no avail as there'll be no fight to be taken.
with us.
And around the pit again, Fada may looking to turn this 7 into an 8. Foxy, we're going to commit. Going to chase, being charged for any further than he needs to.
Yeah, Liquid's just getting all the time to farm these pretty nice items. Like, sure, the Sven, he's the way to deal with that CK, but they're just getting a lot on all 3 corners. It's just the Sven farms on one side. Yeah, Visage and Invoker are getting a little bit here, but not as much as the side of Liquid. And like we said, they have this X factor when this Phoenix always comes into play, where it's this humongous team fight that you don't have matched on Mudgolems. And Taiga, almost level 12, off to a good game.
I think there's definitely going to be some sort of urgency from Mudgolems to find some sort of action. I mean, when you do get this BKB earlier on in the build on the Sven, you would imagine that Skeeter, he does want to try and find opportunities to fight. He's still very strong, gets him with the BKB, this level 2 God Strength. It does a lot of damage, but yeah, with as low as the action has been this game, there just hasn't really been those opportunities handed to Mudgolems where Liquid sort of overstayed their welcome on a push. Sven's able to TP in, turn things around. It just hasn't happened. It's just been the creeps for Skeeter. There's not been any kills.
Yeah, it's just been an insanely farm-heavy game, right? Like 216 last hits on a CK and Sven. The CK has the same last hits as the Sven. That's pretty surprising. The other two is 196 last hits on Storm,
That is pretty insane.
Like,
I guess
very farm.
That's just Mickey doing Mickey things.
Yeah, very farm-oriented game. Liquid, the one of the high ground smoke breaks.
Skeeter. he's going to have a run away from it. Telekinesis is upon him. Mickey over towards the side, takes out Farter straight away. Skeeter turns to the BKB, the Ghost Trick. He's trying to go in over towards Mickey. Mickey starting to full load backs up. Skeeter's going to go for the TP out. For the remainder of his BKB will manage to make it away, but this, of course, is going to mean that he's going to lose many a teammate. As the Lina will fall, they'll catch 33 as well before he's able to TP out. And off the back of those 3 kills, Liquid can go straight into the pit. And this Roshan, it will be theirs. Now with a 4K lead, I think we are really starting to see, as you said, the fact that during this passiveness, Liquid, they just have the lineup that's going to benefit that little bit more. A team fight win at the Roshan. Now the game just suddenly looks rough for Mudgolems.
Tornado. They can't even get last hit there. Yeah, it's just feeling like Liquid has every tool they need here. It's so hard for them to catch these squishy heroes because Liquid has these bruisers in the front. You know, this Bristle and this CK are just sitting there. So Sven can't actually get onto any of these squishy heroes, and the Taiga just gets a free chance to commit his egg. And it really is all because of those wards that they had up on the high ground. Smoke breaks, they know how to position themselves perfectly. Now Mickey has a BKB. Very much so.
So even without the BKB, it just Sven's damage output alone not enough to deal with this tanky CK. You know, 2700 HP, having the halberd as well, extra evasion and arm. This is not an easy target to kill, and you know that's not the hardest target to kill on the team. You know, there's also a Storm zip zapping around everywhere, and of course Boxy is a bristle back. So it really does feel like there's 3 cores in this game for Liquid that unless Mudgolems commit every one of them, they're just not going to kill. Even at this stage where, you know, we're still just 23 minutes into the game, just the matchups, they just feel kind of awkward for Mudgolems at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have a quad 0-0-2 at 24 minutes in, it's a rough sign. This hero wants to be getting much more active when you go for this type of build here. Especially when you have a hero like Sven on your team too. You want to be making the space for him, just letting him do his own thing and farming. Sure, he's getting the space, he's still farming, but they're not getting, you know, Boker's not getting much out of anything. No. He doesn't have heroes to play with because he has a Visage as his offlaner. He has to make rotations he just can't make rotations.
I mean, because that is the thing. When you look at this net worth right now, you see both Boronier and 33 falling behind. That gap is not going to close when it comes to hitting creeps. You know, Storm, Bristle, CK, they're going to stay far, far ahead. So it has to be from the kills. It has to be from the plays. Mudgolems, they've got to make some sort of move. If they don't, they're just going to continue to fall further and further behind in this game.
Totally great. Fights will continue to get harder too. Boxy, Skeeter.
Double damage.
Alarm. They're still not going to make it. Charging up the high ground. Quakefa, he's going to zip straight through. Does get silenced. Cold snap as well. Quakefa, he may have overextended. That's the age is gone. May have just been a bit of a bait. We'll see what he can clean up with his second life as they take down. Comes out. They have to stun immediately onto Quakefa. They're actually taking down the egg as well. Look at a second. They've already taken down 2 of them. Can they find anything more? The light strike. He's down on the Mickey. Steven's in with the God Strip. Take out the CK. And now Boxy and Insane, they're the last 2 left. They're kiting up the Bristle. They get in position. They take him out. As just like that, a perfect response there from Mudgolems. As Liquid, I guess the overconfidence was there. I mean, Quakefa, he goes in. I think that first loss of his life, you know, that was part of the plan for Liquid. As we see as well, you know, Insane is trying his best to outplay the 2 of them, but he cannot do so. He's going to fall as his team wipes. As they make the call, Quakefa goes in, and then it does not go to plan at all for Liquid. They get wiped, Fog.
I think this was the time where he played it's just too much aggression. He didn't let his frontliners be the frontliner. He actually was the frontliner as a Storm Spirit this time. So he jumps in past, his CK and his Brittle can't get to him, and we see exactly what happened. He respawns right into a stun, and even though the egg is there, it's right next to Alina, who just used everything, and all the rest of the heroes are in a good position to actually just hit that egg. That's literally the perfect situation there for Mudgolems to turn that one around, because Quakefa just overcommits there. Just plays way too greedy.
Yeah, definitely a rough play there from Liquid, I mean, without a doubt. And definitely a bit of a saving grace there for Mudgolems. As we said, that the pressure was on them to make a play, to make a move. And then Liquid, it's sort of the style we've seen Liquid do it before. They just hand it to them. They're like, oh, you're in trouble there. Here, have a team fight.
Yep, and it keeps a full solo crest to Bornike. So he was level 15 with just a Yules and an Urn. Now he's all the way up to this. now he has high-level alacrity with Exort too, so he can throw it onto the Sven with the Solar Crest. Now Skater's damage is gonna look much stronger.
I mean, Liquid's still holding the lead overall, but I mean, one more fight like that the Sven's able to live through, and certainly Skeeter is going to be an item or two ahead over any of the cores on the side of Liquid, and then yeah, he's a real problem. Then it is going to get to the stage where Skeeter in these fights is going to have the damage to just take out these beefy heroes. So Liquid's got to be very careful about making those sort of moves. Was one more move of that, and that's going to set the playing field straight again. Yeah,
I think if they just stick to their game plan that they were doing before, just like kind of play this farmy style, just let the CK and Bristle lead the charges, they're still fine. They're still in a pretty comfortable spot with this 3K lead. It's still a good lineup versus the Sven. Just like you said, can't make another one of those big mistakes, and then the Sven, he gets another full item on top, and then his damage is just, it's actually there.
Bottom tower is under
with
attack.
the buffed up Invoker throwing everything on him.
What sort of way do you think Skeeter will go? I mean, he's going to get the Ags, obviously, but then after that, what is sort of is there any sort of big... Does he still go for like a Silver Edge, or is that not a necessity really? Is there other things that are going to be better in his kit?
Why not? He's got the Echo anyway. Like,
he'll upgrade that next.
I think it just feels really good. You're playing versus the Bristle anyway.
Yep.
Break the Chaos Strike too. You know, I mean, it has its merits. It's just a good item in general too. For the weave in and out of the fights and get positioning. So you could definitely see him go for that later on.
I'm interested to see what the play is going to be from Mudgolems now. Is it? Do they still go right? We are behind. We're not going to keep up in farm. We've got to find kills, or do they cross their fingers and say, "Hey, look, Liquid. They brought one fight to us. Let's sort of hope that they do that again, and not, to try and throw things away, getting too aggressive themselves."
Look like they just want to. It looks like both teams were content with playing the farm game from the beginning of this game. So I think they're fine with it. I think they're just chilling. They're just like, all right. This is going to be a game of mistakes. Whoever makes
pretty much
a couple less is probably going to win.
30 minutes in, 9-12. Definitely, one of the lower amount of kills you'll see in some of these games this patch. Definitely gearing up to be one of those games where, for side of Mudgolem, you're looking towards this Sven. Everything's going to be on Skeeter's shoulders. They've got great ways to buff him. Lots of stuns as well to control the heroes of Liquid, while Skeeter's going to try and jump from target to target in the team fights. Liquid on their side, a much more well-balanced affair between their three cores.
Bounty, maybe a fight on the bounty here. Boxy still in front.
Trying to start things a little bit.
It's not even a battle, they just look at... Come on. Everyone's just trying to be so efficient in this game.
I mean, I guess for Mudgolems there, right, you don't want to commit on the Bristle.
No, of course.
Like, for them, they don't want to go, but... that's the thing, right? Liquid, especially after that last play, you're absolutely right. They are just going to be like, well, we're just going to farm. And we're going to see Mudgolems try and shake that up a little bit as they come in with the smoke and are ready to start to try and catch someone from Liquid off guard in the jungle. At the moment up here, we have Insania and Foxy in the lane. See what they can grab, though. Already Insania's out with a blink. They're not going to be able to find him.
Radiant's top tower
away,
is under
Foxy
attack.
at a very safe distance. Doesn't look like this smoke is going to find Mudgolems anything for now.
It looks like they're knowing though. They're like, these guys are just splitting up on the entire map. Like, there's a Phoenix showing in bottom lane. There's a Bristleback showing in top, and then we got a glimpse of somebody else near the mid lane. So they're trying to capitalize on the Liquid all just split up.
Radiant's bottom
and now they got a good ward down too. So they're watching Foxy. And all the time during this, they're pinging Taiga. They know that the Phoenix is down bottom.
AC done. Okay. Bloodstone for Quakefoot. Some big items complete. Foxy starting to have a poke at Mudgolems as they show themselves, and all the land left behind it. Tried to approach from a different angle, but approaching from the top side didn't mean that he was in completely isolated position. That will be
to
nice
set up on
start
bottom.
The Bloodstone charges for Quake.
Oh, nice. He had it before that one, or?
Yeah. I think so, right? It's up to 15. Start.
Yep.
Yep.
That is definitely pretty huge. I was wondering if he was going to go Ags early this game because he's playing with a Phoenix. So like
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
The
It would
Ags
be
pull
nice.
plus it, and he's got the talent that I see everybody take now too. So he's not opting for it yet. He's got the BKB queued, but I think in time he'll get
after the BKB for sure.
It's so
I
strong
would be
with Phoenix.
very surprised if he doesn't get the aggro after the BKB because you're right. It's such a good setup with the Phoenix.
Illusion.
Boxy going for the Abyssal. Have that extra setup and lockdown.
Yep.
And
BKB piercing disable.
Now, so Skeeter actually is not going to go for the upgrade for the Silver Edge for now. Just going up the Satanic.
Oh yeah, he does have lifesteal. Look at that. That's probably.
Yeah, no Paladins this game for him either.
Yeah.
We'll just have to say, I mean, as a fan, what do you normally prefer? Do you prefer the Paladins or the Titan Sliver?
Radiant's
It's just
bottom
the game
tower
What were
is
you
under
hoping to
attack.
find?
I think for me it just depends on the game. It's like if they have a lot of stuns and stuff that you're actually concerned about, yeah. But
That's true.
otherwise, it's just like you don't really care too much for the Titan Sliver. It's also like magic resist too, so if they have a lot of burst,
Yeah.
the Titan Sliver's better in some situations.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Liquid,
attack.
just like we said, just farming. They're fine with this. They want to take it to
They
late
are.
game. They know that Sven's BKB is going to start ticking out, and it's just a Sven, like in a way, to look for, I guess you could say. So later it progresses, BKB goes down. You're going to double Halberd, eventually Abyssal too, maybe on 2 heroes. So yeah, they're just showing.
Yeah, you can see it in the numbers as well. I mean, anytime there's no fighting happening, you will see Liquid just climb further and further ahead this game.
Yep, and that's with this Phoenix now level 18. He's also got his own Lotus in a second too. So like we said, this X factor of team fight is just getting stronger and stronger. Like we said, they do have ways to kill the egg, but it still causes quite problem compared to let's say like Alina. I always just compare those forwards in some situations. Like Alina compared to a Phoenix in these situations in this game, it's gonna leap and bounds the difference in the big fights. They're gonna smoke them.
I mean, they need to. They've got to find some action. Mudgolems. They know
Yeah.
that they're
Look, Mick
falling
is just
behind.
attack them every CD.
I mean, this would be a dream kill, but not a kill that they're going to get.
Radiant's top
The
tower is
BKB,
under
the whole
attack.
place put to an end. I mean, it is hard. It's very hard for Mudgolems to start some action. Multiple ways that Liquid can instantly just put an end to the move that Mudgolems are attempting to make.
Box committed his gold to the Abyssal. So now there's just so many different forms of messing with Skitter. He pops BKB, he can just, if he pops it at the wrong time, he could be Halberd during it, get Abyssal right afterwards, and then a Supernova. A lot of different things he has to worry about.
It's, again, I really do think this is just going to be one of those games where it's, Liquid can make this as long as they want it. Play it cool, no rush for them, for their heroes. At least that's how I would imagine they feel. And I think from the play that we're seeing, definitely being shown here in this game, Liquid know that they can take this one pretty relaxed and safe. I mean, for the most part, we've seen Liquid just playing on their side of the map. They've got all the camps that they wish to farm. See these mass sentries being laid down, making sure that the jungle is secure and unblocked.
He switched it up. Taiga switched from Lotus Orb, he's going Shivas, and also Sven bought the Silver Edge.
He did. Okay.
They got a Vlad's on Fox, so I think that was what he's like, okay, you have lifesteal, go for the Silver Edge so we can actually kill these frontliners. Otherwise, they can't kill the
that's
Bristle.
a good call. I mean, that's definitely a good call. The Silver Edge just effectively makes that much of a difference, of course, with the break on the Bristle. The
He
damage
can
output.
actually get boxy in some situations, but he's got a sentry down all in this area, so he's playing safe. Actually, 5 sentries in this area. And we see, yeah, like I said, Mick every single time because you have the CDR talent, you don't care. Pop your ult off CD, 64-second cooldown, pushing waves to continue to grow. Yeah, even the reality rift fierce immunity too, yeah. More things that the Sven has to worry about. Just pulling him around the fights.
I think we'll see Mudgolems. They're going to go for the Roshan.
Okay.
It has been scanned, but Mudgolems moving it very quickly with the 18 gold strength. They're taking this Roshan down. Liquid, and they're going to have a chance to have a look in on this one. Boxy's trying to support, but they'll be able to hold him to the side with the Tornado. Roshan's down, 8 will be secured by Skeeter. Liquid are still going to try and take the fight. Looks like Potter is again going to be the one offered up to the side of Liquid as he's left behind. Chargers will fall. Can Liquid get anything more from this? Look at themselves as one of 33's familiars. Unable by the looks of it to actually close the gap on anyone else. 33 actually able to take couriers. Insanely Oblivion trying to use it to scout out on the front lines. They're able to do something. They get in, they get Roche, they get the Aegis. I think for, not for any other reason, but for a lack of having anything else they felt that they could do. But they do get it.
Yeah.
Still though, you see on the gold, even though they get Roche and the Aegis, they're still falling further behind. And Liquid, they've now found themselves in a position to just start pushing in down the mid lane. They know how strong they are right now, and they're not really going to be too scared about this Aegis.
No, and they know that Sven used God Strength to kill the Roche that fast, and I think without God Strength, they have no damage in their lineup. So they know immediately, no God Strength to run around, they have freedom around the whole map.
Radiant's top tower is
And now
under
Mickey
attack.
also has a full heart
Dire's
finished.
top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they're just getting crazy amounts of farm, and everyone's just getting too tanky.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Taiga even up to 32 armor as he's sitting on that craggy coat.
Oh, mid lane. They're trying for Boxy. They're trying to make a go on him, but I don't think he cares. He's going to hold his ground, put the Minotaur horn, start to get some dudes sticking out onto the Servant. Now they're going with the Zip. They managed to catch out Skeeter. Skeeter's still got the BK in the Aegis, of course, so no real pressure onto him right now. He's actually going to try and commit. Pop to Godtrain goes straight across Overlord. Boxy going to have the damage. They've got the control of line shot away. Boxy getting low. Boxy jumps over the fight with Pixel. He's still alive. Kutai's not enough to kill him. Boxy will live. Still surviving to the side. Finally they find him, but it's cost them the first slide for the Sven. Cuts him down the ones. It's going to be a buyback from Fada. He knows that he needs to come over to try and help Skeeter, but can't even get there in time. Skeeter just getting locked down by Mickey, Tiger, Isania, and Koifer. As this Sven, they haven't got detection! They haven't got detection!
Dust is on cooldown.
They haven't got detection. Skeeter actually able to live. He's able to walk away from Liquid. Still, good things to have happened there for Liquid for sure. They did lose Boxy, but the lead does continue to grow for them, and unlikely that the Mudgolems will be able to do anything with this 50 seconds that the Bristle is dead. But definitely a bit of a missed opportunity they couldn't capitalize on taking out the Sven.
Aegis and Cheese fight, and you can't take the fight at all. You literally can only, you have to blow everything in the kitchen. You throw everything at him. Everything in the kitchen, sit onto this Bristle back to finish him off, and he almost survives during all of it anyway. I think that's really starting to show what we're going to see in majority of these fights. The damage is just not there. They have too strong of frontliners. The only way that Mudgolems can do this is if they somehow can catch these backliners and then just make it so that they're outnumbering in these fights. But it really doesn't look like Taiga. He's just waiting. You see how hesitant he was in that fight. Just sat in the back, waited until it looked pretty decent, and then he jumps in, and it's a crescendo.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that. Efforts are needed on the initiation. You can just the insurance policy is mid lane. Quick catch onto the Invoker bar, and he is out. Down by 80 seconds. Does have buy. So not to really changing the state of this game, especially with Koifer now hitting the 25, and also having completed Aghanim. So a huge power spike for the Storm yet again.
Yeah, that's going to be real nice for them, I believe. I think Insanity also got it too, right? Yeah, so Insanity and Koifer both have bags. Everyone just on the team just finishing up much bigger items. One plus item pretty much, it seems. There are 2 plus items on the side of Mudgolems. Trying to force the 5 back. Yeah, it's a 4600 HP CK. And he also has the Spell Prism given to him, so Phantasm has a 50-second cooldown.
Dire structures are fortified.
I think I might have cooldown. Oh, yeah.
Of course.
1 second cooldown on that.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And it really does seem like they just can't stop them. This game has slowly but surely headed further and further in Liquid's advantage. Stick around for the Rax yet. Now I'm going to see Skeeter try and go in onto the Bristle. But able to make it away there as he is glimmered, and of course puts a stop to that attempt from Skeeter with the Storm Hammer.
I mean, back up for 20 seconds and then re-go on the side of Liquid. If you know God Strength's not going to be there, just wait it out for another like 10-15 seconds altogether, and then smoke yourselves. Yeah, exactly. They're going to do it. They can even, I think they can even just like jump into the base and look for them here at this point, because there's just no damage once this God Strength is gone.
Dire are scanning.
It's a little spooky for Mudgolems. going to make the quick jump. Go for Fighter first. Same time, Quantum's going to zip straight towards the back line. The BKB and the TP out is there for 33. Warren is going to be left behind. Silence comes out from Quite Frail. Continue to control him. The BKB now popped. He's out for the Ghost Walk. Warren will make it away, but again, it's
Radiant's
just
courier
constant situations where it's just Mudgolems running away from Liquid.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Never really being able to fight them. I mean, at this point, they're down 21,000 gold. Close as well in terms of XP as well.
They're trying desperately to find any type of kills when heroes split up. You see Skitter, he actually just silver edges all the way to Insania, but yeah, Insania nukes the wave out and does a quick blink back. He'll be okay. And now his team is going to go start to join in. Fight to find himself a DD2. And yeah, they're looking for the fight now, again, as they should be every single time. Long zip.
Quite fun. Oh, actually knows the BKB is still on cooldown for Boran here. Oh, see, BKBing himself there. As Insania, he's actually diving in further. I'm going to turn. Insania will die for this.
Okay.
That's something for Mudgolems.
Sorry, Insania. Your Stormhammer does not dispel the yours.
Tiger. The pull. Put up on the stun. Quite going to zip across straight away. Looking towards the Invoker. Barney again. Over. He's saving himself with himself through. 33. Put the BKB. Barney at first. Push them up with a deathly pass. Skeeter goes straight for the BKB. Trying to find a target. Just nice. Get him over towards Quaitba. Quaitba in trouble, but he's able to zip out just in time. Quaitba will live. Then getting rogue. And they get Skeeter out of here. They cannot. Boxy and McKay stay on top of him. Triple kill for McKay. Over to the side. 33 does manage to mute down Tiger with the soul assumption, but at the cost of his own life, as Liquid will clean up yet again. Another team fight. Liquid continue to push themselves further and further ahead. As they just don't have the tools right now, Mudgolems, it seems.
Oh, they do not. It really just does feel like Sven versus the world, and he just gets controlled super hard. He's just jumping around, trying to stick on these targets, but there's just too much for him to deal with, and it just feels Liquid. The probably close to put out pretty soon here.
Yep, just hitting the tier 4s, ignoring the heroes. They're ready to take this one over towards the game 2. They're ending this game. We found another buyback to there. We'll see Liquid give a bit of respect as they put their BKBs and back away. They're happy to play this safe, avoid the potential fight here from these 3 buybacks. Borania might find a chance to catch one of them. You see a null talisman drop down as a bit of a peace offering there for Quite, but it won't be accepted as Boxy will pay.
He was trying to get the gem from him. He was dropping the null to get handed it over, but didn't have. I don't think he had a space. Had space for it at the moment. No gem pass off for you, Koikfa. The rest of them will back away though. And they're at 30k lead. I think he's gonna wait for that Bristol to come back.
Lead.
Yeah.
I think we just showed us there. The game's not over yet. The game's not over yet. Don't show us. There's still more action to be had. Still more action to be had. It's very close to it. We have now. We've seen some crazy turnarounds in the past. Maybe. Probably won't be, but you never know. So where's a chance in Dota 2?
You know, you never know with Liquid sometimes.
Here we go. And Liquid coming in with the smoke. It could be a smoke that they end up regretting. You know, who knows? We'll have to find out.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, it's the piece of the Ags.
Oh, poor old Jay.
Walked up into the century.
Oh, goodbye. He does not have bind.
Actually,
Dire's
wait,
middle
I can't
tower
believe he
is
walked up
under
there. Walked up there. That was crazy.
I mean, maybe he's just ready to get into game 2. As they killed Insania. They put a light strike onto Mickey. Skeeter's moving in.
Hold on, two.
They're getting out vortex onto the 2 of them, but the BKB's down. Up before the Harbour was there onto Skeeter. Skeeter trying to turn over towards Mickey. He's going to look for Quaitba, but the BKB's there. Quaitba running away. Silence comes down to Skeeter. The BKB wears off. Again, the Glimmercate does give some safety to Skeeter. Actually going to keep him alive. He jumps over with the stun. Another axe vortex from Quaitba pulls in the 3 of them. 33 and Skeeter are out of the game. No buyback for them available. As Quaitba looks to clean up, trying to find the land. Fada is able to get the hit with the Prince's Knife. Again, another Glimmercate keeping Fada alive. But Milan has been found. Everybody apart from Fada going down on the side of Mudgolems. 3 surviving members of Liquid should be able to close this one out. There we have it. GG is called. Liquid will take this game one. 47 minutes in. It did go on for a little bit, but you can't help but feel this was sort of Liquid just taking the game at whatever pace they fancied us. Never really felt that this game fell out of their control, apart from that one slip up with the early move to the triangle.
Yeah, it really did feel like they knew exactly what they needed to do this game. They just sat back and kind of sat back and kind of farmed on everybody. They're like, all right, you know, we have 3 cores farming and we have a Phoenix farming pretty much in the entirety of this. Sven, he can't win this by himself. This Invoker Quaswex, I feel like they had to be a lot more active, but it's hard because they have a Visage as their offlaner. So I feel like it was just a tough game for them to really just like press the issue forward. But it's a tough game.
further ahead. This
Alchemist in your team, so this hero wants to. Seconds, I think. 2, 3, 4.
Is for nothing.
You can't just sit back on the laurels of an Alchemist and a Magnus and expect Alchemist does get to that late cell coming in.
Flexi admitted to throw it into the mid.
You know, Lil.
Pulls him out. Morphling has a hard time against Lina Pulse 4s as well, so it's not ideal. It might be the best game for Morphling that I can think of carry-wise for Hellraisers, but it's just not ideal either.
Hellraisers Slaughter.
What? Excuse
Chad
me?
is playing Slaughter.
Well, I don't know. You guys already put in your predictions, so you guys can't change it.
Nature of.
So you guys can't change now. I'm sorry for you guys, but that's just how the cookie crumbles here. We're going into game number 3 here between Hellraisers and Viking GG. We're going to leave it with our casters one more time. It's going to be Gareth and the Cost.
Slaughter lets him be crash and crush.
Creep.
Man, maneuvering squad as the Light Strike array from Aramis.
A little bit flexible, and we.
Because, you know, Silver Edge is fairly easy. Feel about it.
I think it's a battle of like Skeeter versus Boxy, you know? If Boxy plays well in the lane against the Sven and get what he wants, kick him out in very uncomfortable situation for Miket, then maybe Liquid will get what they want, I think.
What about you, Matt? Where are you feeling for this? Prediction-wise, where are we going to stand?
I'm going to go Liquid.
You're going to go Liquid for this one? What about you, QO? Where are you going to stand? Mudgolems, Liquid.
I think I have to go with Liquid as well.
You're going to go with Liquid as well? Yeah. All right, it looks like everyone's going to go here for Liquid on the panel here as we get ready for game number 1 between Mudgolems and Team Liquid. It's going to be Pixie and Foggo.
Every time.
Some good stacking going on as well in the Dire Triangle. Made sure that he got a decent amount of farm. I did like the itemization from the Visage there, going into the Orchid, making sure that they were able to lock down the Storm when he was trying to make those early rotations, but it felt like it could have even been a minute or so.
Goes out, S4 with the X-Well,